Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia here, and welcome back to the Overwatch World Cup Roundup 2019 Team United States preview. So, it's time to take a look at the so-called big boys of the Overwatch World Cup this year. We have already looked at the teams in the preliminaries, but now it's time to look at the teams ranked in the top 5. These teams have already qualified for the later stages of the tournament this year through their seeding. The first team we will be taking a look at is Team United States, who come in at number 5. Obviously, Team USA have a long history in the Overwatch World Cup, featuring every year since 2016. In 2016 and 2017, they lost to eventual champions South Korea in the first round of the knockout phase. In 2018, they got a much more favourable draw. Qualifying in first place, they would take on the second place qualifiers from Europe, Team United Kingdom. This was seen as the moment for the USA to start a run to the final and take down the dominant South Korea side. But Team USA seemed to come into this match very cocky, and it caught up with them as they became the shock of the tournament, losing to the United Kingdom 3-1, and certainly not living up to the expectation that was put on them. This means that, surprisingly, the United States have never won a knockout match at Anaheim, despite their obvious quality over the years. This can be put down to unlucky draws in 2016 and 2017, but last year it seemed like they took winning over the United Kingdom for granted, and it cost them dearly. Let's take a look at the organisation for Team USA this year. Their general manager is Ballin, and their community lead is Fresh. Aero stays on as head coach this year, and he will be assisted by Junkbuck and Harsha as assistant coaches. But now let's get to the players that will be featuring for Team USA. As ever, we will start off with the supports, and there are no changes on what we saw last year from the USA, as both Moth and Raucus return. Raucus has had an up and down year for the Houston Outlaws, but that is not necessarily his fault due to the organisational problems that Houston have had this year. Moth obviously has had a fantastic year for the San Francisco Shock, and now has the invaluable experience of being an Overwatch League winner to bring to the table this World Cup. On to the tanks for the USA, and this is where we start to see some changes compared to what we saw last year. Space returns in the off-tank role after recently sealing a move across LA from Valiant to the Gladiators. He has had an up and down season, not featuring all the time for the Valiant, but did manage to push his way back into the starting lineup as the season went on. The main tank is where the change has taken place for the USA this year, as Muma will not feature, and is replaced by Super, the enigmatic main tank player from the San Francisco Shock, another player who can boast of an Overwatch League winners medal, although he did lose his place to Smurf towards the end of the season as Orisa became more dominant, a possible weak link for Team USA here. Lastly, it is the DPS for Team USA, and as ever they will be taking 3 DPS players, offering them a bit more flexibility in the role. The only returning DPS for Team USA this year is Sinatra, and for obvious reasons. This year he was able to fully compete in the Overwatch League for the first time, and not only does he have an Overwatch League winners medal in his back pocket, but he also has the Overwatch League MVP trophy as well. It would be a massive shock not to see his name in this roster. But who will be supporting him? Well, this year, Zacharia and Hydration will not be featuring, and instead in come KSF and Corey. This year, KSF has been playing for the LA Valiant, and although the LA Valiant have not been able to replicate the form they showed last year, KSF has shown some great play at time during this season, and so has earned his place in the World Cup roster. Lastly, it's time to talk about Corey, and some may look at the Overwatch League standings and say, "What? A player from a team that finished near the bottom of the league? This can't be good for Team USA." The thing is, Corey was one of the brightest sparks in that Washington Justice roster and looked incredibly good towards the end of the season as the Washington Justice really managed to find some form, and those end of season performances have earned him the right to play for his country this year, and no doubt also that there was a picking process for Team USA as they've got a wealth of talent to choose from, and so they probably did quite well in that as well. So that's your Team USA roster for this year. Once again, there are a lot of big names in this roster, but can they make sure that they do not take seemingly lower opponents for granted, and finally live up to the expectations that are put on them? The big thing for Team USA this year is that they have much more experience than they did last year. With the roster built around the Overwatch League winning San Francisco Shock roster, they might just be able to go all the way this year, as they should be able to deal with those high intensity situations better than they could previously. I am sure that everyone will be looking for that South Korea vs USA World Cup final this year that has eluded us for so long, but it will very much depend on how the draw falls and what teams they will have to face in the lead up to the final. That will be it for our preview of Team USA though, and next time we will take a look at the team that comes in at number 4 in the rankings, Team France. Although they are higher in the rankings, I'm not so sure that they can stay up with the likes of the USA and South Korea this year, but I may be wrong. But, for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. See you then!